Good morning, everyone.
Happy Saturday, Adultitis fighters.
Welcome to the first, maybe last, who knows, Coffee with Kim and Jason.
Yes.
We are glad to have everyone here live and anyone who is watching afterwards. Welcome.
We are tinkering. We are practicing what we preach, which means we may not do this again, or we may do 100 of them.
Yeah, could be. Who knows?
Yeah.
This is an offshoot off of the Escape Adulthood League, which is a social network that we are a part of. We sort of started as a part of Mighty Networks, and it's an opportunity that we started last fall, October, yeah. And it's basically an online community for adultitis fighters, and we were sort of burned out on Facebook and all of the clutter.
Facebook changed all the rules.
Yeah. So the clutter and the distraction and the noise and the negative stuff. So the Escape Adulthood League is a free online community that is open to any adultitis fighters. Most of the people here probably are a part of it already because that's where we focused our attention. But if you're not already a member, there's a button towards the bottom to join. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, it's been a really cool platform. We're getting to know it. And as you can tell, as you explore a little bit, you might have questions. So just let us know. And actually, you can ask questions here during our live show. So if you're watching live, please feel free. If you're watching it recorded, we won't answer it live.
Not live, but maybe next time. We'll answer it next time.
So there's like a button somewhere, right?
There's a button at the bottom to ask a question. And we will see that if it comes up. And we'd be happy to answer anything. At least we'll try.
So as with any new platform, we're getting to know it too. So I see some people have profile pictures, some people don't have profile pictures. If you don't, please think about it. Even if it's, something like a dog or, that's not always a preference, but
No, your face.
Okay.
We want your face. We don't want your freaking dog or your cat.
Well, it's better than an icon too,
I don't want to talk to a dog. I want to talk to you. So we want this to be a nice, personable community. So
definitely,
and don't show a picture of your bruised leg. We have a thing on Facebook about people showing their scar from their surgery or their big giant bruise from their sprained ankle, and nobody wants to see that.
It's rough stuff.
Nobody wants to see that.
Talk about adultitis. There's nothing like you're sitting there at the grocery line and you're like, why did I just see that? I never want to see that. I don't even want to see my own bruises, let alone someone else's. So anyway, that's a little side note, social media side etiquette, And then the other thing with this platform is, inviting people. So if this doesn't have to be alumni to any event we've ever had, anyone who is looking to fight adultitis that you think would benefit from being a part of this community, invite them. And then you can earn points and get rewards. So you can get leveled up and all
coupons,
that good stuff.
Free prints, free products. Yeah. So if you're a member of the Escape Adulthood League already, first of all, if you're not, do that, make that happen. And if you are, feel free to invite anyone that you do think would enjoy it. So basically, it's an opportunity for us to talk, to share challenges, to ask questions of one another. We're the facilitators, we're the hosts, but not necessarily the experts. We had someone just post the other day asking, people all the time are asking questions of the group. Like, what do you do if you're in this situation? What do you do in this situation? And some of it is we don't have experience with that, but there's a lot of people within the league who do. So it's kind of it's a neat, safe place to be. It's fun. We share fun, goofy things.
And the cool thing about this that's way cooler than Facebook is groups. Okay. So you can start your own groups based on your niche or niche. Is you're a niche person?
If you're French.
But right now we have a couple groups. I'm facilitating a homeschooling group. We have business owners and entrepreneurs, EA Summit alumni group. This is just a start. I mean, this could go crazy. Grandparent group. I mean, we have a list of 30 off the top of our head, but we shouldn't necessarily be facilitating them because they don't apply to us. Chronic pain. There's all sorts of niches that would be really cool to start. Yeah. So
that's just an overview. And just again, for the people who are just now coming in, We invite you to feel free to chat, to share any thoughts you have over on the right-hand column. If you have a specific question for us or something you're curious about, there's a button to ask a question. Go ahead and do that, and we will see it. So
yeah, hello to Stephen out in Seattle.
Hello,
and
Stephen.
Jenna.
Hello, Jenna.
Hello.
It looks like we've got a bunch of people here online. Still trying to figure this out, but hello to everyone. Too. Amy,
yeah,
Mike, Lisa, Michelle. How are you guys doing this morning?
Thanks for being here. Thanks for tinkering with us.
So what's up in our life right now? We'll start with that, I guess.
Yeah. So spring here in Madison.
Strong coffee.
This is a little late for us to be drinking coffee, I'll be honest.
It is.
I was getting a little shaky about an hour ago. Like, where's the coffee? So spring in Madison. Yesterday, Lucy and I were out passing out some flyers. She's got a really cool little business she started at the beginning of the year. Literally on New Year's Eve. This is a classic. She's a classic thinker of her New Year's resolution. We had to start on New Year's Eve to get going on it, which I love, right? That's really cute. So she's 10 and she wanted to start a dog walking business to benefit the lives of cheetahs.
Which is, I'm going to walk dogs to help cats.
Well, it's pretty awesome because she has a lifelong dream to see a cheetah in the wild, as we all do. It's part of our bucket list.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, you want to come over? She's just over here.
You don't have to.
So she's
overhearing us butcher the description of it.
Right. She wants to see cheetahs in the wild, and they are endangered greatly. I mean, we're down to like 2,000 in the world or something crazy.
Did you just make that?
No, I think she told me. That. Is there 2,000?
It's dire, folks. We're down to.
Left?
It might be 200. I don't know.
How many cheetahs are left in the world?
7,000.
7, which is still very bad.
Could have been a bad day for cheetahs today. Maybe it's down to 2. Who knows?
Long story short, she's found out that you can sponsor a dog to help the cheetahs. The dogs were basically, farmers take the dogs and the dogs keep the cheetahs out of their livestock, which then prevents the farmers from killing the cheetahs,
Who are a nuisance to them.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a problem solver. So she's walking dogs to sponsor a dog to save cheetahs, which is so cool. And the first $500 of her charity or her business is going to this charity. So there at the beginning of the year, we passed out flyers and she got some really great business. In fact, we just deposited $200 in her checking account yesterday. So she's up to like $300. Woohoo! And she's debating on sponsoring 2 dogs this year. So
wow.
aren't you going to take a profit?
I know. She's literally like, I'm going to make $500 and it's all going to go to this dog for the cheetah.
Which is really cool. Because if you have a dream, you should do whatever you can to see that it will be accomplished. And this is what she's doing. So that's one of our little projects. We did some more flyers yesterday. She's hoping to get a couple spring clients.
Killer testimonial. So that's a cool thing. So for those of you who don't know, we homeschool. And so running a business is an amazingly great way to cover a lot of subjects at once: writing, math, and then things like sales, marketing, communicating with people, responsibility. Like it's really good. But she got her first testimonial and it was written by someone who actually runs a business, so she knows exactly what you're looking for in a testimonial. So
I forget the word she used. It was basically like life-changing. Lucy's been life-changing coming in to walk our dogs while we're
transformed her life.
I know. It was really cool. So
yeah, it was good.
That's a neat little thing that's kind of been evolving and seeing her grow through that, keeping her little spreadsheet of her notes and what's happening.
Yeah,
and
learning Excel as you must do as a business owner.
Yes.
Looks like Kim is here. Hey, Kim, how's it going? Good to see you.
Hey, I thought you were going to bring coffee cake. I was like, we should take her up on that. I love coffee cake.
Oh, yeah. So the other recent thing is we went to a concert last week. Went to go see Mumford & Sons, who was here in Madison, which sparked a fun post in the Escape Adulthood League where we asked people what their first conference or concert was and what their most recent was. And for me, it was MC Hammer. Okay.
That's pretty epic. Did you wear those kind of pants?
No, but if I would have had them, I probably wore Zubaz. That's probably about that time.
What officially is Zubaz?
They were like the LuLaRoe of the day.
Oh, really?
Except roomier.
Much roomier.
But the
Chloe.
opener was Vanilla Ice. So
That's
there you
epic. Did you got to see Ice Ice Baby live?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just like
in
hair.
the comments, if you would have killed to see Ice Ice Baby live, I mean, really, is he still doing that at like state fairs? Probably.
I don't know. Probably some reality show he's on right now. And then, of course, my most recent was Mumford and Sons. But
Yeah.
what was your first one again?
My first one was Michael W. Smith, which is a contemporary Christian artist who, back in the late '80s, which when that would have been, was rocking some real curly hair.
Perm. He had the perm going there. Nice.
And he had just come off of Amy Grant's band and was breaking out on his own. And now he's like a huge hit, if you know anything about Christian music. But we saw his early days. He was at the keyboard. I mean, it was classic late '80s concert with my family. So
I think it's remarkable here as I look at the chat. If I'm reading this correctly, Kim and Amy both saw John Denver.
Oh my gosh.
Was that both of your first concerts? Like Kim saw him at Red Rocks in Colorado, which I want to go to.
Bucket list. Red Rocks.
So, I mean, we don't have like a ton of people live right now. So the fact that a few of you saw John Denver,
crazy.
Which
John Denver story.
I spoke in West Virginia a couple weeks ago, and it was I flew into Charleston and I had to drive somewhere an hour away.
An hour and a half. Mm-hmm.
And on my way back, it was in the morning, early flight. You know, the whole mountains were all misty, and I played the John Denver song. I don't even know what the title is, but "Take Me Home."
Mountain Road.
Yeah, "Take Me Home, Mountain Road." That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
West Virginia. So I was singing at the top of my lungs, like a little nerd, and it was very apropos to that.
So now it comes full circle with everybody loving John Denver here.
Yeah.
The Red Rocks?
Yeah.
That's classic.
Thank you. Country Roads, Kim, she got
Yes, yep. And Jenna says that Amy Grant was her first concert at this, of course, State Fair, right? Mm-hmm. Classic venue.
Which we saw Michael W. Smith at the State Fair.
We met him.
And we got to hug him.
Yeah, we kind of stalked over by the
wait until the back.
Or by the bus.
By his bus, yeah. And I'm pretty sure he was wearing Eternity cologne, if I remember correctly.
What? Why do you remember
you
that? No, I'm a girl and I didn't notice. That's disturbing.
I'm weird.
But it looks like Steve, you were a big Michael W. Smith fan when you were little and still am a fan. I mean, he's classic. My sister has a dream of going on a cruise. They have these cruises now where he like goes and he brings his whole family and you feel like you're part of his family.
We should do the next Escape Adulthood Summit should be something like
cruise.
That.
We've looked into it. If you think you'd go on a cruise with us with the Escape Adulthood League and all the adultitis fighters, let us know. Throw it in the comments because that is something we're I have
been hesitant about a cruise, but I think a lot of it is because I don't want to be around people I don't care about. So maybe if it was with
it's very adultitis
people,
of you.
I know. Well, I'm an introvert as you are, so don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. But
Reba,
yeah.
Sweet.
Mike says he saw Foo Fighters Wrigley Field. That was awesome. That reminds me of one of my favorite quotes of all time is from Dave Grohl of the Foo Fighters, formerly of Nirvana, who said, and let's see, the kids are playing, so we'll keep it PG, but he said, F your guilty pleasures. And his whole point was the concept of people say, oh, that's my guilty pleasure. That's my guilty pleasure. And he's like, to heck with that. Like what you like. And I think one of his comments was like, if you like Britney Spears, like Britney Spears. It's fine. So
maybe not that though.
if you like putting your bruises on Facebook, that's not good. But anything else. But no, the idea we spend too much time apologizing for the things we like. And that's one of the badges of honor in our house is if you're called weird. And that because you're not afraid to be who you are.
And we took it to the next level. Like 93% weird is the optimal number. So when someone takes it,
if you go over,
if you're at 94, we'll tell you. We're like, that's 94%.
It's too much. Yeah.
And usually we're joking and laughing while we say that. We're not shaming, but it is pretty funny.
Yeah.
So it looks like Kim Stanfield McMillan, you're going on a river cruise. That is awesome.
Ooh.
I've heard they're amazing. You have to tell me how that is.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Amy says that her stepmother waited outside in the rain for 2 hours to get her nosebleed seats.
Aww.
That's hardcore. That is very nice.
Wow, that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, concerts are awesome. I have always loved live music. I think because that concert I talked about, I was like 6th grade. And then we kind of went on a little concert tour following some of these musicians like throughout high school. And I've always loved live music.
Yeah, it's been kind of a thing for us.
Yeah.
We've had some cool ones recently. We saw Ed Sheeran at Miller Park not that long ago. And last summer we saw Paul McCartney, which so glad we knocked off the bucket list.
Yeah.
I am disappointed that I never got to see Tom Petty. That was one that he came to Summerfest all the time, and I never went to see him, and that was
And
really
we took
stupid.
Lucy for her golden birthday to Coldplay, which we've been seeing a lot of bands like recently that are like big hits, and the production value is just like
Ridiculous.
mind blowing. We all had bracelets on that were color coordinated, so all the songs were color coordinated, so it was like a visual show based on our bracelets. I mean, we're both like, what
it
is
was
this?
pretty
What
cool.
are we
It was
experiencing?
at Soldier Field. It was pretty epic.
It was pretty neat.
Yep.
So
Some news. So some of you that are in the league may have seen every once in a while we post meet the member of different members to let you guys know the type of people that are in here and get some inspiration. And we just posted one of Dave Timmerman, who is a Catholic priest and a longtime adultitis fighter.
Yes.
And we were saddened to hear that he had a heart attack earlier this week and had to go into the hospital for surgery, had a quadruple bypass. Last we've heard, he's recovering. He's okay. He's got a long road back, but if anyone is of the thoughts and prayers type person, I'm sure he and his family would appreciate your thoughts and prayers.
we literally were posting his profile this week.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh no, Father Dave.
I literally, posted it to be scheduled, and then Kim emailed me the news. So we hope, Father Dave, if you're listening later, if you end up seeing this, we wish you the best and
lots of
Godspeed.
love and prayers. One thing I thought was interesting and ironic from his post, because we have these questions that are just like kind of for whoever's being profiled. And he said basically something he wants to learn from the members of the league is how to be more resilient and to master bouncing back from situations of adultitis. So this is it, buddy.
Right?
Oh man. But I mean, we'll get his address. So if anybody wants to send him a card or something, maybe you can send it to us and we can send it off. We'll keep it private. We're not going to have all these people showing up at his house or something. But, like if there's a way that we can kind of filter that a little bit and send him some love, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah. If you're interested in doing something, email us, let us know. We'll try to set something up. Yes, but I suddenly realized my wish is that I would figure out how to manage with a great influx of money from like a lottery. That's what I hope that I can learn from being part of the Escape Adulthood League.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, if he asks, he wants to get better at bouncing back from situations of adultitis and it happens, I want to just put out there that my mom would always say, well, when you have a lot of money, that causes more problems. And those are the problems I would like to experiment with.
Okay. So, all right.
FYI, universe.
Get some scratch tickets.
So, I guess I should probably buy a lottery for a ticket first.
We've been married.
Literally
we've
never
been
bought a
together
lottery
for
ticket.
like 24. How many years now? 24.
I already won the lottery.
Yeah.
Can't win it twice.
He's never bought a lottery
Can't win
ticket.
It twice. All right. So here's something I want to try to do with this newfangled technology. There is a way to share the screen. So I thought this Monday, tomorrow, a couple days, Monday, I will be sending out, that's the goal, sending out the file for my new book. It's called A Chance of Awesome, How Changing the Way You See Changes Everything. And it's just about done. I've got a few more little tweaks to be made, and I'll be sending it out to proof, and which is sort of scary because then you can't tinker with it. And it's all like the minute you send it out is the minute you're like, oh, I should have added this, or I should have I missed that or whatever. So
it gets real.
Jenna and Kim and Lynn, who works with us, have all gone through the last phase of editing. So if anything is wrong from here on out, I blame them completely. But I thought it might be kind of fun. One of the cool things with Penguins Can't Fly, which was the last book, I got to design that and lay it out on my computer. I use a program called Adobe InDesign. It's a professional page layout management tool. And so for this one, I did the same thing, and it is a very similar format. So I'm going to share the screen and see how this works. hopefully you will still be able to hear me. If not, when I do this, you'll
just tell us in the comments.
Just look. You just look. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm assuming you can hear me. If not, this is going to be really awkward. But this is basically the layout of the page, and you can see here. I'll scroll out to see all of these are all of the pages here. So it's a lot of stuff. And the first step is to do the I'm excited about this page. This is actually going to be in 3D. So if it looks a little bit off with this panda and these letters, if you look at this with 3D glasses, it'll look like it's coming out towards you. So I'm super excited about that. So these are just all of the layout. This is how the layout looks. And the first step was to just do the words, right? The transcript, and I had a professional editor go through everything. And then once that's done, then I lay it out with all of the little pictures and paintings and pull quotes and things like that. So I think it's pretty good. I think it's turned out really good. I'm excited to share it with you guys. But I don't know. I just thought maybe this would be something as a little sneak peek that you would be interested in seeing. I like this spread. So this one is about more cowbell, and I have a picture here that I included of one of my Funko Pops of Will Ferrell from that cowbell skit from Saturday Night Live. So let's go back. All right.
Got a friend. Somebody new here.
Yeah. Wow. We're multiplying. Oh my gosh. Who's this?
Oh, you want to say?
Ro.
Virginia Rose. She goes by Ro, and she got curious when you changed off the screen, so they came over. Ben's over here too, but you gotta come in the screen there. Ben, there he is.
He's creeping back there.
You can come in the middle if you want to say hi.
How you guys doing this morning? Good.
You want to tell everybody what you built this week in the living room that you're playing in?
A fort.
It's a pretty epic fort. Yeah.
We'll post some pictures.
Yeah.
It's kind of taken over the living room so much so we can barely watch TV, which is not a bad thing, but it definitely has a presence. It's
got Christmas lights and blankets, and it's pretty impressive. Ben and Ginny here have a competition on days in the weekend when we have like a big breakfast. Usually we make a family breakfast on Saturday and Sunday, and so they're always trying to compete to see who the first one is to ask if they can lick the pan, because I often make cinnamon rolls, and it gets to the point now where I'm barely walking out of the bedroom and they're like, "Can I lick the pan? Can I lick the pan?" And so whoever is first gets to lick the pan. So,
and one of the people watching right now is Miss Amy from Kinder Music, and she says, "I miss you getting so tall, Miss Amy." Miss Amy, we miss you too. We used to see Miss Amy every week at Kinder Music for Lucy's classes and Ben's classes, and of course Ro was along for all those too. So good days, good times.
A lot of people are saying hi Ben, hi Ro. They're typing it in the chat
and
there.
And Steve, we were just kind of rearranging we have painted rocks in our flower bed by the mailbox, and we were rearranging them, cleaning them up the other day. Lucy took everything out, cleaned out all the junk from winter, because 2 weeks ago it was all snow, and there was all the rocks from Steve, from the Stephen Saki from the summit. He had gifted the kids with rocks, and it said like, "Hi Ro, you rock," and Ben, you rock, and all this stuff. So we were talking about you, Stephen. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we wanted to talk a little bit. You want to sit for us, or you want to go back and play? Go back, play. All right. Thanks for saying hi. We were going to share a few posts that have come up on the league that were kind of cool. And we're so excited to see people putting their own posts up. So it's not just from us or Jenna. So that's pretty awesome. So the other day, Elaine Atkinson from Happy Valley, Oregon, which, by the way, Happy Valley, how cool would that be?
It's pretty good.
Talk about fighting adultitis. If your town you live in is called Happy Valley. So she put up a picture.
Although there's a place in the town where we go to church. There's a street called Bacon.
I know.
Bacon Drive or Bacon Street or something. That's pretty good.
Every time we pass there, we're like,
If
we
you
should live on Bacon Drive.
If you lived on Bacon Drive in Happy Valley, that would be pretty good. And a little
Can you
redundant.
design your life to be that? So everything about it is like you write your address out and you're like, yeah, that's the coolest address in the world.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway, Elaine had posted a picture of a ginormous unicorn sprinkler and the water comes out the horn. And she was just saying like, this is so epic, basically. And she's got a surgery coming up. So she was disappointed to know that she probably won't be able to buy one and play with that. But knowing that unicorns are such a big thing right now, it seems like you turn around, there's unicorns everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome that someone created that.
Figure that out to make some sort of a shower head with a unicorn and it comes out the horn like that. That'd be pretty sweet.
So I went into Elaine's profile because I don't know if you know you can do this. One of the cool things is that you can click on their name and then see if they've shared a little intro of themselves. So if you haven't put an intro of yourself, please do. It's a cool way for people to kind of see connections and that sort of thing. Hers, she put a lot of cool things. So she was telling us things that she loved. And some of them that stood out that really connected for me personally is the smell of Crayolas, and I love that she said Crayola and not just crayons because there's a difference. Art. Right. We're really snobby about crayons. Crayons from the restaurants? No, not so much. Got to be Crayola. She also likes you pick blueberry, apples, and cherries, like going to those places and picking, which has been a big family tradition of ours recently. Bonfires, fireflies, and this one is cool, ghost towns. So a friend of ours, Lori Guest, who's a speaker.
I like she put scrambled eggs too.
Yeah,
like, that's
pretty
oddly specific, but very awesome that you would be like, I love
scrambled eggs.
Like
I own it.
It doesn't have to be a guilty pleasure.
No.
Right? I love scrambled eggs.
Maybe it is a guilty. Maybe they're really doctored up.
Hard boiled? No, scrambled. They got to be scrambled.
I love that ghost towns and scrambled eggs are on the same list.
Yeah, that's a good sentence.
Yeah.
Anytime that's in the same sentence.
It's like, I love ghost
especially
towns.
In the context of
eggs.
Describing yourself. That's
right.
pretty good.
So Elaine, thank you for taking the time to share so much of yourself, to put up a picture and to start a cool conversation, because I know there were some fun comments on that one. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of the thing you put up that we're looking for feedback on. Kim put a post in there asking for anyone who has put in a fire pit in their backyard or bathroom or whatever. We have a weird situation in our backyard where our neighbor does not take care of his yard, and so it's seeping into ours.
We are going to have lakefront property this spring.
Unintentional lakefront property.
And it's not the valuable kind.
So Kim, thinking of like, what does this make possible? Which any of you have heard me speak, you might have heard me talk about that concept of anytime something bad happens in your life, it's okay to be mad about it. It's okay to be frustrated, but the more quickly you can say, all right, that happened, that sucked. What does this make possible? That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if we can't grow grass there, maybe we could put in a fire pit. So we are welcome to anyone who has done this or has any experiences or links to YouTube videos or anything you want to share.
Or has a wheelbarrow. We're going to need some help.
or a wheelbarrow, either way. If you go into the league and search fire pit, I'm sure that Kim's post will post up. But of course, if you want to put anything here, we'll also see it.
Krista had put up a cool picture and gave some tips of like what didn't work for her. So like things like that are super valuable. Or any links. I was Googling around last night, so I got some cool links.
But that's the sort of thing that the league is for. I mean, weird stuff like, hey, I want to put in a fire pit. Does anyone here have any tips? And
ironically, it's about adultitis fighting.
Yeah.
Why are we putting on fire pits? To make memory, like it's all connected. Our whole lives are connected to this adultitis fighting theme. We can't get away from it. Steven Saki is asking where Lucy is. So she wants to make an appearance. Thank you for thinking
Let's see, we
of
got
her.
Jenna said she wanted to live in Story County. I couldn't disagree with that. Amy Payne says Kalamazoo. I love that. Oh, what's that one that Jamie was from? Schenectady?
Oh,
Schenectady, New York. That's always fun to say.
Here's Lucy. She was reading in the tent.
How much money you got in your dog business so far? How much have you made?
300.
300. Like 300. It's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
You want to say anything? Hi, Steven.
I see.
He says, "Yay, hi, Lucy."
See that? You see how it has that there?
Oh, Miss Amy says, "Good
morning,
morning.
Lucy."
You must have worked very hard."
Aw, she's been walking a lot of dogs.
Yeah.
And she even does some cat sitting. So she gets to go to someone's house midday while they're at work, sit on their couch, and their cat comes and sits on her lap, and she can pet it. This is work, people.
Yeah,
How cool is this? This is like homeschool for the win, you know?
How many people are realizing I have the wrong job right now?
Pet sitting. It's underrated. Well, obviously people are so worried about their pets when they have long days and meetings after work. And so it's solving problems, you know?
Yeah, very much so.
Thanks for saying hi. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
So this month we're also doing something different in the league where we have a monthly theme, and so we thought that would be kind of a cool way to go deeper in certain areas. And so with it being spring here, we are asking. We're going with the theme of simplify, right? And so we have a lot of questions and polls lined up and content over the next month about this idea. We asked people to share what their best tip or app or tool that they use that makes their life simple, and
Yeah,
we've been
there's
getting
some
some
cool
good
things.
answers in there. So we're talking a lot about that. So
And we did a
again-
poll, right? So Jason put up a poll the other day.
mhm.
What area of your home most needs a good spring cleaning? So it's been interesting to see. Most of the answers are kind of falling under other. And so people were commenting like basement, or basement and attic was leading otherwise, but people were saying their sunroom, their craft room, their floors, their windows, like all that kind of stuff. But Robert Bremis and I went back and forth talking about how awesome it is to have wood fire.
Bormans.
Bormans.
Yeah.
He was talking about his sunroom has a wood burning fireplace and store where they store wood, and how dirty it gets this time of year because he's been doing fires and that. So him and I were going back and forth about wood fires. Yes, you know, so that was fun. And Donna was talking about her craft room and how she lets it pile up. It seems like the things that are our most treasured places in the house tend to do be a little like piled
Mhm.
because we, I don't
Spend
know.
time there.
Yeah,
and-
you're not spending time on it, you're spending time in it, right?
Mhm.
And there's a difference. When you actually have that free time, you actually want to be doing what you enjoy in that space, not cleaning it.
It reminds me of last year for the Escape Adulthood Summit. The night before, we had a studio tour, a VIP studio tour.
Yeah, Kim was there.
Had a number of people that came and saw the studio downstairs, and Kim, in fact, was the one who noticed that it was particularly tidy, which of course we wanted to be presumptuous.
yeah.
She was like, "This isn't how it always looks, is it?" And
Right,
of course, no. Like right now, it's pretty
right,
disheveled because I'm making stuff right now. So
right.
yeah. But one of the challenges we've been talking about in our house right now is we just got a shipment of probably about 250 books,
Mhm.
Penguins Can't Fly books. And they go into our foyer. It's kind of like they come from the truck.
Mhm.
Before we get this big
Which,
semi
thank goodness
that
we have
pulls
a
up.
foyer. It's not in our living room. But
And we were commenting that with this new book coming out, we're potentially planning to order for the first print run 4,000 to 5,000 books, and realized that would be 13 times as many boxes as what was in the foyer this week. And what was in the foyer this week was a lot of books. And so we sort of had a panic attack of like, what are we
Yeah.
going to do with that? And
Mhm.
yeah, we're like looking at, okay, storage unit.
Kim Stanfield
Kim-
McMillan's house.
Kim went all in. You were like, let's buy a bigger house. So it's, there's that as an option.
There's
The
extremes.
upper end. So that's an opportunity, I guess, to get creative with things. I suppose the other option is to sell all 4,000 books in the pre-order like that,
Which
and then
would
they
be
just
harder.
come in and go straight out. And I think we just gave Jenna a heart attack because she's the one in charge of shipping them all. So that's a challenge, but that reminds us of our apartment days, and that was one of the things we were in our apartment for 8 years, trying to figure out a business model that worked, trying a lot of stuff, getting into a little bit of debt. And there was a point towards the end where it felt like we were living in a Hallmark store because we literally had spinners of greeting cards in our living room because there was nowhere else to put them. We had stacks of products. It was very suffocating, and
Mhm.
we're
trying to prevent that here.
yeah, and that's
Yeah.
a good sign because we're
Yeah.
growing. So now
Mhm.
we've been in a house and it's been great, but starting to have that feel again. So there's going to be a lot of hard questions and a lot of opportunities.
Ironically, we were in the office for 9 years, or not the office, the apartment, and we're just now coming up this month on celebrating 10 years here.
Yeah.
So it is interesting how we tend to do things in decades, 5s and 10s, where it's like, okay, this feels like we're transitioning again. Not necessarily that we need to get out of here, but that goes along with the spring cleaning. Like, what can we delete from this house? What can we purge to make more room for growth?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's pretty important for everybody, because if you don't have the room to grow, you won't.
Yeah.
And that's something we're very aware of physically, but emotionally, it's the same too. If you're not kind of purging and pruning emotions and some of the stuff that gets clogged up, there's no room to grow.
Yeah, it goes with that saying, the universe abhors a vacuum. And I'm sure you've experienced this. As soon as you clear space in your garage or in your life, whoosh, something comes in to fill it. And so if you're kind of stuck, that's kind of a really good way to start. Even if you don't know what's going to come, just start creating a space for something, whether that's on your desk, in your garage, or in your heart, even in your head. There's a lot of power to that. So
yeah.
Again, if anyone has any questions for us, we'd love to answer them if we can.
See, Steven's out there doing the bad puns, and
that's like Steven's superpower is puns. He's pun man.
Jenna's ready to ship 4,000 books, so that's cool. And
that's what's great about
Kim's
Jenna.
offering us her garage. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I was gonna say the thing that's good about Jenna is like literally she's been with us for this entire time since college. And we could say anything, and she would be like, "Let's do it, let's do it." And I mean, back in the apartment, we used to our company name, like the corporate company name, is Jaybird Inc. That's how it started, and a lot of our things still go by Jaybird Inc. And so we used to ship out orders with boxes that had ink splatter on them, right? Cool branding thing, except that they had to be splattered by hand, and that was Jenna's job at one point.
But we did.
Yeah. So that didn't last very long.
No.
But she did that. She did a lot of things. So and continues to.
I wish we had like phones back then that had cameras and videos that we would have taken more like shots of that.
Yes.
We had like real digital cameras back then,
Yeah.
or real film probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did mention the Escape Adulthood Summit. We have number 7 coming up this July 29th and 30th. It's a Monday and Tuesday. The golden tickets are on sale. They're winding down.
Yeah.
We're getting pretty
About
close to having them be gone.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple people here that I know of that have come to a summit before. Some of you have been to a number of them, and some of you are coming again. So that's awesome. And if you want to come, if you want to learn more about it, check out escapeadulthoodsummit.com. It's basically a 2-day retreat / conference / meetup with adultitis fighters. It's pretty epic and rad. And like I said, this is number 7. We've sold out every year so far. It's always been a little bit different, and I think a little bit better as it goes along.
I hope so.
I think
Yeah, we
you
try
learn a
to
few
do
things
new
as we go
things.
along, but it's always a little different. We got some cool surprises in store this year that are completely different. And to be honest, we're not sure what next year will hold. I'm not sure if we'll go back to the barn. I'm not sure if we'll take a year off. I'm not sure if we'll do a cruise. I'm not sure what we'll do. So if
I kind of want to go to Italy.
we're done, Tuscany, let's go.
Jason keeps getting these like ads for like art retreats in Tuscany.
Painting retreats,
Like paint, because someone knows he's an artist in the marketing world. And so he gets these things where it's like, come paint in Italy. And we're like, yes, I love this idea. And then we're like, why don't we host it? Why don't we? So Tinker Travels or something,
Yeah.
So we got some ideas. So if you have any opinions, let us know.
Yeah. So we're always tinkering. And so things could be added or changed at any time. So if you're interested on the fence, give it a whirl.
Yeah, this is definitely maybe one of our last times at the barn.
Yeah,
Like, we're
just to
moving
kind
on.
of be a little different.
For
It's been
nothing
great.
against the barn. The barn has been amazing. And for those of you who are like, what's the barn? It's like this beautiful wedding barn, corporate barn out in the middle of the country with a pond and landscaping. And it's just a retreat. It is gorgeous. And this is our 4th year there. So I think, as with anything, just like high school, you're like fourth year, senior year, kind of ready to move on to something different. So that's kind of where we're at with that. But
I see Michelle said she'd love to come. It's too much of a trek from Canada. I can totally see that. We did get someone from Canada a couple years ago, which was our first Canada person. But I know Steven comes from Seattle, which is not an easy trek either. Right. We do get people from all over, which is really cool. It's kind of nice to be in Madison in Wisconsin because it's centrally located to the continent, so it's not as far to go from any one place. But we try to keep the cost as low as we can, and still cover our costs and make it worth our while to do it.
This is interesting. Christy had a dream. Christy Ward, hi. That she was our Adultitis fighter this month, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, she featured our Adultitis fighter of the month, Christy Ward.
We have royalty among us.
Thanks for joining us. She said she had a dream that we ran a retreat center complete with gift shop.
Ooh. You know,
that's
something that's been on our mind as we talk about what's next, and we have a dream of living on a lake somewhere, and we've thought about, like, would that include a retreat center? Would it include something else where we could host our own things? Because that's part of the challenge is having to get everything set up and trekked over, and it's like if we could just have it at our place.
It's like having a 2-day wedding every year.
Yeah, and then maybe we could do more of them, and I don't know. I saw Steven said about having it in Seattle. That's a possibility.
Twist our arm there.
I had a chance to do a cool speaking engagement for a guy up in Vancouver, and he has his own. It's not a retreat center, but like a business conference room off of his property that was right on the river, and it was gorgeous. And he said, you guys could have it here anytime.
Who would come to Vancouver? Let us know, because he literally offered us to do that. It would be all of us flying to Vancouver. I mean, it's literally on a river right outside the city, about 45 minutes outside of Vancouver. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider.
Yeah. So we don't know. Part of it depends on, how many people can come to something like that. So that's why we depend on you guys to share this mission, what we're up to, invite people to the league, because the more people we have, the more freedom we have and the more options we have to do things in different parts of the country or the world or whatever. Where right now, not only is it easier for us to have it here in where we live, but a lot of the people that follow us are in the Midwest, just because a lot of speaking engagements are around here, and I have speaking engagements everywhere, but it's sort of like one of those circles where the closer you are to Madison, the more it is.
So Steve is asking, is it Washington or BC? So BC, it's Canada, the Vancouver opportunity. So it would be passports for us U.S. folks and all that good stuff.
Let's see. Jody is asking, there might be a little typo here. Do you still hide the penguin at your house? Okay, let me do this. So this is cool. I pushed a button as we started to answer this question, so that then people who are watching this afterwards can come right to this part of the video and get this answer. So the question is, do we still hide the penguin? I'm sure you're talking about Marty. And yes, we still hide the penguin. However, it's very difficult because we have
a lot of
we have thousands of penguins here. And so I don't know where the most recent one is, but what we had to do is we had to write a little black star, like in Sharpie, on his chest, because then that would let us know this is the live in action one, right?
And it gets
where Marty is.
He's up there. Oh, he might be up in the grass. We have these little grasses up there. Yeah. So that's kind of hard to re-hide because he's really high. It stalls sometimes when you have a really creative hiding place, because then it kind of loses momentum, right?
But it's also then cool once you find him, because then it's even more of a surprise. But yes, we still do hide Marty. He's got the little black star.
We played different versions of this, though. Jason and I actually started this game with a little baby.
Baby. This is a baby head, like a broken off baby head.
In this apartment that we lived in, there was like this little baby doll that the head broke off. It was like literally this big. And we started hiding her little baby was her name, around our apartment. And so she's down in Jason's office. Yeah, and then we went to Pokey, and
then we also where I get my hair cut. There was a woman who worked at the barber shop where I get my hair cut. She worked there for about 3 months. And the reason she worked there for 3 months is because she was kind of creepy and weird. And so they had her picture.
I don't know this. Like,
Come on. They had her picture like in the ad of like the Northside newspaper that we get. And so we cut that out. And I should say Kim cut it out and put it on a. And her hair was really like really
it was
crazy.
just ironic because she was a hairdresser and her hair was like huge. It was like 94% weird. It's like, you know, that's 1% more.
So Kim literally taped a picture of her to a Post-it note and wrote "boo" under it. And that makes its way around the house. So we actually have multiple things.
Yeah, Marty is just part of the crazy of everything.
Yeah, so thank you for asking that, Jody. I'd love to hear. Do you have Marty? Are you hiding him at your house? I'd love to hear.
I love
about
someone
that.
has a Barbie head. They call it Stink Bomb. Is that you, Kim?
That's nice.
See, these are the things, though. Those little stupid things that you're just like, how did this get like this? How did we do that? Like little baby, little head. I mean, part of the appeal of little baby is that her head is like lopsided. It's like cut like this.
Yeah, and it's like a hard plastic. I don't know what
like
it would have been attached
baby doll.
to.
I don't know. We'll show you next show.
It reminds me of, we went to the, was this at the National Play Museum in Rochester? Did they have that doll exhibit?
Yeah.
Is that where that was? And it was like old antique dolls, where it was like these glass heads and really creepy, like stuff of nightmares kind of thing. So
we did like a video at the time, and we had like horror music playing and stuff. And probably some people were like, I love dolls like that. So it's like to each his own, you know?
FYI, she said horror, like horror music. I don't know what the other kind of music would be, but just in case.
Britney Spears music.
What else?
Let's see. We got some other updates. Okay, next weekend, this is a big deal. Jason is giving his first TEDx talk down in Illinois, kind of a suburb of Chicago. This has been on the bucket list for a while, but you kind of just have to. I mean, you can pursue it, which we've done here and there, but they found him this time, and so it was kind of neat. So it's going to be about breaking rules that don't exist. The whole theme of the TED speakers is what, like Beyond Boundaries?
Beyond Boundaries, I think, is the theme. And yeah, it was, when I first said yes to it, I was obviously excited, and I thought it would be a no-brainer because I talk about rules that don't exist all the time. And then I kind of figured I would just like shrink it down because it's, no more than 18 minutes. And then I realized how just shrinking it down isn't going to work. So I had to really rethink, like, if I'm writing an 18-minute talk about this, what do I want to say? And it stumped me for a long time because I have so many stories, so many examples. I wanted to make sure that my art played a big role in it. And finally, it came together. One of the things that just helped me was the idea of saying, if this is the last speech I ever give, what would I want to say? And so that really helped me to like crystallize the most important things and get rid of all the other stuff. And so it's been put together. I've been practicing. I don't usually practice for speeches. So I hate it. I hate practicing doing things like that. I'm much more spontaneous and stuff, but I want to make sure that I get this right, especially since it's such a tight window of time. So that'll be next weekend. I will be glad when it's over because then I don't have to keep practicing. But it will be good.
It will be good
and
for all your Tobias fans of Arrested Development.
So I'm excited about the opportunity and excited for the video when it comes out, and we'll obviously share that when it comes out. So
yeah, it's fun. And ironically, we've been working with a art licensing consultant for the last couple of years, and he's kind of helping us, dive into that opportunity for Jason's art. And he had said to us, like literally 6 to 8 months ago, like, what about a TED Talk? Have you guys thought about TED Talk? And like a month later, we got an invitation. We're like, keep talking, John, keep talking, because just certain things go out there and they come back around. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? You want some coffee? No. Ro and I made a 20 square hopscotch the other day. So traditional is 10 squares, right? You got the 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, da da da. well, she wanted to keep going, and she's really curious about her teen numbers right now, the 11, 12, 13, all that kind of stuff, which she's 5, so that's perfect, you know. So we made from 1 to 20, and it covers probably 3/4 of our, driveway. But it is a workout to do 20 squares of a hopscotch. I'll be honest with you. By the time you get done, if you literally do the whole skipping the square where the rock was on sitch, I kind of needed a chiropractor when I was done.
I probably would have a heart attack. It would be.
So, people see you, Ben. It says, I see Ben.
It's like hiding Marty, hiding Ben.
It's like that ghost in 3 Men and a Baby in the back. We're like, is that a guy? What is that?
Ghost behind the curtain. Oh my gosh. You know, we're probably winding up pretty close here, but I think we should talk about Jessica and her thing that she posted, because I think this is a fun thing in the league too.
Yes.
Jessica Kane, who is from Galway, Ireland, is she actually? I think she said she's lived in the United States for the first 20 years of her life, and she's lived in Ireland for the second 20 years of her life.
Wouldn't it be neat to ask her some questions?
I know.
Right?
So she's a awesome member of the Escape Adulthood League, and one of the questions she put up for everyone, and I encourage you to weigh in, is: are you a birthday cake person or birthday pie? Would you do birthday pie or some other treat? Because she said her mom said a couple years ago, like, I don't like cake. Why do I have to have cake for my birthday? And this is like one of the big things. We get along on a lot of things, but we can never share dessert because we have completely opposite interests. Kim is all chocolate all the time, and I am more of a fruit pies and cinnamon.
Anything like plain and healthy.
I'll do the sugar. I'll do the sugar. No, it's not plain and healthy. It's just not all chocolatey and mint and all that. So that's the downside. We can never split a dessert.
Me and Amy will have to go out for birthday frosting and cake because
I just want to like real thin layer of frosting, just a little bit.
The thicker the better.
Yeah. So we're hopeless. Although when we went to
point, Kim.
we went to Kim says he wants to share dessert.
It works out.
When we went to Key West a couple years ago for anniversary, we did a tour of key lime pies, and we did share those. We can't agree on that.
Yeah.
However, I would say that's because we were in Key West. If key lime pie is on the menu and double chocolate heart attack fudge is also on the menu, that's what she wants. So. Well,
Michelle says at her house they eat birthday cake for every meal. On your birthday.
Or just in general. That's like awesome. Every meal we have birthday cake. Literally 365 days a year.
I feel like you haven't been a big cake girl. What have you had for your last few birthdays?
What's your favorite dessert?
Did you have a cookie?
Cupcake.
A cupcake.
That's right.
We do let the kids pick their dessert for their birthday because we do birthday cakes like on a separate day with grandparents. Jason does the whole artistic birthday cake thing for them. So on their actual birthdays, they get to pick dessert. So we're kind of, Jessica, we can relate to this. So like, what do you want for your birthday? It doesn't have, it could be brownies. It could be peanut butter cookies like Ben always picks or whatever, So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, Kim says creme brulee. Had to buy a torch. Now I could be up for that. We actually shared creme brulee one time, right? That was the only time we ever had it. That was good.
I was willing to try that.
So there are a few rare times where we share a dessert, but it's one of our big issues that drives a wedge between us.
In the umbrella of adultitis fighting, desserts, these are the things that distract us from all the adulting that we have to do. The bills, the stress of, trying to find out how you're going to fit 4,000 books in your house, like that kind of stuff. When you can talk about and debate about desserts, life just gets better.
Yeah. It's on brand, right? Well, I guess before we go, should we try? We have the opportunity to bring anyone who's watching live right now on screen. So if you want to, I know I'm just kind of throwing this out there, and maybe we'll do it more next time. But if there's anyone who would like to be live with us and have us pull their video screen up to have a little chat,
why not?
We'll grill you mercilessly with questions. No, just to say hi or whatever. Just put in the chat that you'd be interested in that. I'm assuming not. Oh, someone said sure. I'm in the kiln room. Oh, cool. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. Kim.
So Kim owns her own pottery studio. Make your own pottery. Make your own.
It says, "Are you sure you want to invite Kim Stanford?"
Fired Up Pottery, Madison,
I don't know.
Wisconsin.
Now I'm confused if I should or not. Okay, we'll see if this works.
Ben's gonna watch too. Technology, we don't know, guys.
Might as well just get all these tests out here, right? Just to see how things go. As far as I know, I think it's in progress. We'll see if it might be taking a while.
So a kiln room, do you guys know what a kiln room is? No? A kiln is that big oven that fires all the cool pottery that you make.
Fireplace that they put the pottery in, and it makes it hard. Yeah. All right. So it's not.
Is it not working?
Not coming up, but it might just be because something on Kim's end. Let's see. I don't want to ban her. It's one of the options. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Hey, Kim, how are you?
Oh, we can't hear you. Hold on.
Okay.
I wonder if she's got her mic.
Let's see. We may have to do that. Thank you for here. We'll put
Here we go.
All right, Kim. We hear you.
Can anyone hear her?
Oops.
I can't.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
I wonder if there's like a little button. Kim. She's trying.
I see her mouth moving. And unfortunately, I can hear myself talking.
Amy says we're echoing now.
I know I'm echoing too. Headphones. Well, I'm glad we're doing it at the end. We can try it.
Kim says she can hear us. She can hear us, but and her mic should be on.
Amy says it's like a spaceship. I know.
Woo! Adultitis is having its way here.
I'm not confident that this splitter thing is very good. Let me try this. Yeah.
I have to abandon ship again.
Well, if I was more on top, I would have had Kim tested and us tested with her earlier.
Oh.
He's trying. Thank you for trying.
Thank you for trying.
I don't know why we have the act too. That's the other issue. Let me try something else. All right. Let's. No, I'm still getting. All right. We're gonna abort this challenge. I'm sorry, Kim. We will set this up later. Thank you.
Everyone got to see Kim. She was in her kiln room. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, technology is so awesome when it works. All right. Can you guys hear me now? Hopefully, and it's back to normal. Okay, good. Thanks, Amy. Thank you for trying, Kim. Thank you for everyone who put up with that. We'll try to figure out else another time. So
yeah.
All right. Well, I don't see any other questions other than Steven's little punny question at the beginning of asking burning questions. What's a fire and why does it burn? It's Steven's superpowers, asking ridiculously punny questions. So thank you guys for being here. To everyone who is watching, the replay will go up very quickly. This was recorded. Thank God that last part was recorded. People are going to want to watch that over and over again. Thank you for joining us for coffee. Look, my coffee is done.
Me too.
And we'll probably do another one of these again down the line. We'd love feedback of what you guys thought, what we should do next time. And in the meantime, if you are not already signed up for the Escape Adulthood League, sign up using that button at the bottom. Thank you for being a part of things. Thank you for all of the support you give us, and we will see you guys next time.